Good morning, Gate City Rotary.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's see, I think Rob today has our invocation pledge.
You got it. Yeah, I was bumped from having my my old timers, not old. What was it? Old
member?
Old members, yeah.
Just old.
So I got bumped from that, and so they picked me to do the prayer this morning, which I appreciate. I'm really honored because Ralph texted me last night about 5:30 and said, "Hey man, I need your help. I've asked 6 other people who can't be there." So I was glad to be right there at the top. Seriously, it is a privilege to ask a blessing, and because I've been asked to do it, I've got this platform, so I'm going to take my sweet time. So y'all get comfortable. But I always have a little bit of apprehension doing this because I'm always thinking there's that little politically correct part of me that says, oh, I don't want to offend anybody with how I ask the blessing, or I don't want to step on any toes. And then I was reminded of something I heard some years ago, and it was, I'll paraphrase it, but the guy said something like this when he stood up. He said, "So I'm the one doing the praying, so I get to say whatever the heck I believe and evoke the name of whoever I think deserves the credit. And if you don't agree with me, then tough luck. You won't hurt my feelings by not saying amen when I'm done, and you're still getting a darn good meal. So that's not a bad deal. And here's the kicker. I got to sit through whatever and whoever you decide to glorify when it's your turn next week." So, with that said, in the spirit of Thanksgiving here, giving thanks, please bow your head with me. Dear Heavenly and Gracious Father, you are awesome, and I thank you for another beautiful day, rainy and warm that it is, for which you've given us all breath. We are here by only your grace, enjoying the blessing of membership in this Rotary Club, the fellowship of these fine people, good food to strengthen us for the coming challenges of this day, and the ultimate privilege of using our hands and feet that you crafted to do your good will. Thank you. This is a fun gathering, and while we're genuinely happy to be here, you know there are a lot of tough things going on underneath the surface of all these smiles and cheerful greetings. Help us, please, to remember that you offer us rest and your burden is light. Help us to move toward you. Lord, there are some here this morning who know you deeply and seek you daily. There are others who have definitely made your acquaintance, and some still who doubt your very existence. It's a wide spectrum, and I only pray that you would simply do that which you do best, which is meet us where we are. Fill up the space between us and encourage us to seek your truth more diligently. Finally, Father, I pray that you would make our hearts truly sorry for our wrongdoings so that you can bless this meal we are enjoying. I pray for those who prepared the food and those who have served us this morning that we would serve you today as faithfully. All these things I ask in your Son, Jesus' glorious name. Amen. Amen. The Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And of the things we think, say, and do,
is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
We're going to take a collection now.
I always wanted to be a preacher.
Collections in the buckets under table.
So Sergeant at Arms report. All right.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
We've got several visiting Rotarians. We've got Slade Lewis from the Guilford Club. From the Greensboro Club. Brenda Friedman from Summit. And Richard Needham from Airport. We've got our speaker today visiting, Terry Jones. Two guests of his own, Dan Woods and Mike Mansotis. Blake Hunt and Dorothy Downey brought Mary People.
husband, Bob, was in the club for years, and so everybody in here knows the area. So I think we're all sponsoring her. I think she's a realtor with Remax Realtor Consultants, and a good friend of everybody.
Wonderful. Great to have you here this morning. Let's see, birthdays and anniversaries.
Okay, birthdays. Interesting thing here, we've got the anniversaries for club day and wedding anniversaries with years on them, but on the birthdays, there's just a date and no years. So it seems that you're all old. Charles Langdon, March the 16th. Dennis Newman, March 29th. James Pegrin, March 29th. Mark Reynolds, March the 19th. And Mike Slane, March 10th. Covering the month here. And then for anniversaries, congratulations to Cheryl David and her husband Mark, 28 years. And Ross and Melanie Geller are looking at 12 years.
And if I could say, while we were missing last week, I had my anniversary as well, Chuck and I.
Did Chip have a birthday?
I did have a birthday.
I know, it was last Thursday, right? So.
I feel a little older this week, yeah.
We should sing
I
this week
know,
because we
I
didn't
know,
get
we
to sing last
should,
week.
we should. So, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Chip. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, I'm thrilled. Thank you very much.
All right, so yeah, a bunch of announcements this week. So, you know, I was gone for 2 weeks, but I didn't miss a meeting because apparently Dan is so anxious not to have to fill in for me. He, you know, did his little snow dance and called down the weather gods. So, great to be back. Does anyone have an update on Hal? Okay.
I run into Randy Buchanan, is that off? Sure. Yeah, he's like my trainer. Right? 10 more squats. All right, next Thursday, we're going to have the cutoff for our Gate City Rotary Foundation grants program. We have a whopping $5,000 to give out, but that's more than we thought we had a few weeks ago, so that's a good thing. The strange news is even though we haven't had a couple of meetings here, I only have 4 requests in. So we've got another week. All right, Tom says he's got one. I knew that was coming, but we got another week. So please get them in. I would like to have lots of good stuff to choose from. We're going to obviously give out the entire $5,000, and we'd like for you to go to lots of good causes. The requirements for y'all that you may not know is it must be a charitable organization, and you must be involved. You have to be doing something. You can't just say, hey, let's give some money over there, whatever. So, and the past president's committee. We'll take a look at all of these once we get them all in, and we'll make a recommendation to the board. The board has final votes whether or not to portion the money that way or not. So, anyway, thank you. Please get those things in. If you need a request, send me an email, and I'll be glad to send it to you. You got it from me twice, but I'll be glad to get you know.
All right. Well, I see Sean, you're there. You want to say anything about Shadows Day quickly?
Just a reminder, it is March 12th. For those of you who signed up, I will send out an email with contact information of the person you've been paired up with probably next week.
That's next Thursday, right?
Say that again?
It's next Thursday, correct?
Correct.
Erica, you want to say anything about the speech contest and Riley?
Absolutely. So we actually did have a student that participated in the speech contest. I know I was very excited about that. It's a student from Page High School. His name is Frank, and he is a senior. They actually had a competition amongst themselves. There were about 7 students who competed, and Frank was the one who got the highest votes out of his club there at Page High School. Unfortunately, he didn't place in the competition, but we are going to have him come and present his speech to us. We're trying to work it into the calendar with all the changes and everything with the speakers. It's been a little bit difficult, but we figured out that he could probably just go during the same time another speaker is presenting, so he won't take up much time. I think it's like 7 minutes or so. So we'll hear more about that to come. And then for the Rotary Youth Leadership Program, the deadline for the online application has been extended until March 31st. So if you have someone that's interested in participating, I encourage you to go ahead and get the application in. I literally just hit send about 5 minutes ago on the link, so it's in your email box. Thank
Yeah,
you.
so last year we were able to sponsor 3 city Rotary children, and they came and spoke and told us what a fabulous time they had. So if you have a high schooler, going to be a junior or senior, jump on that. It's a great experience. So district conference coming up, and we have a guest speaker with us this morning to tell us all the fabulous details about the district conference. So Slade, you want to come on up and tell us?
Thank you, Emily. Good morning, everyone. I'm Slade Lewis. I'm from the Guilford Club. I'm actually one of the many district conference ambassadors. I'm here at the request of District Governor Patrick Heath to invite all of you to Roanoke, Virginia. There are 3 numbers I need you to remember this morning: 15, 199, and 127. So 15, March 15th is the deadline for early registration. If you wait past March 15th, the registration fee goes up. They have packed a lot of stuff in the registration this year. $199 is the cost of registration for conference. $199 includes a cocktail party on Thursday night. It includes breakfast Friday, Saturday, and Sunday mornings, a buffet dinner Friday night, and the banquet on Saturday night. So there's a lot of value in the conference. $127 is the fee for the hotel at Hotel Roanoke. It's an excellent room rate for a newly renovated historic property in downtown Roanoke. If you haven't been to Roanoke before, it's an easy 2-hour drive up 220. The hotel is sited right in the downtown. You can walk a block to the central arts and cultural district. There's shops and restaurants. One of the great things about conference is that it's over by noon every day for the most part. You have your plenary session in the morning, and then in the afternoon you have free time. On Friday they're going to have some events. You could play golf, you could hike, you could ride on the Greenway, you could do other types of things in downtown that are unorganized activities. On Saturday they're going to have 4 different Rotary-sponsored service projects that are going to be done in coordination with some of the Rotary clubs in Roanoke. And then Saturday night's the big banquet. There's also a talent show this year. How many of you know Sarah Ray with Art Barks? I don't know. Oh, yeah. She did a TED Talk recently. Sarah's in my club. She is the one that's going to MC the talent show. And you know how much energy she has. So if there's anyone in here that has a special talent, any rappers, play the ukulele, you want to do some mime, we'd love to have you come and share your talent with us on Friday night. So what are the 3 numbers again? 15, 199, 127. To register for conference, go on to the district website. There's a link. You can do your registration for conference, for the activities, and for the hotel all on that one site. So if you have any questions, please ask Emily. She knows how to get in touch with me. And Chip will know all about the contest that's going on. He's going to make sure that Big City Rotary is well represented and wins the contest for the largest number of attendees.
We need to do that. Joe Kelly's already got a tremendous number of people in his area signed up. I ran into him picking up a badge.
The goal is 15% of your club in attendance. Now that doesn't mean they all have to be Rotarians. They can be family members, spouses, or kids as long as they're registered for conference. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you, yeah. It's a great deal this year and a great program, so I hope a lot of you will come out. Let's see, Happy Dollars.
Happy Dollars.
Happy Dollars.
All right, folks.
Stan, love yourself.
I was just saying, glad to be back. Thank you for all your thoughts, prayers, notes, visits. I'd name names, I'd leave somebody out. Special thank you to Jim Kennedy, though, for bailing me out on the treasurer role while I was healing up. So, good to be back. Also, first time I've been here since State Carolina. I told my Carolina buddies, don't worry, you guys, this is a little time from actually going to class. Yeah.
Hold on, let me get this sweater on. Hurt, Randy, that really hurt. Dale?
Got 2 Happy Dollars. Eric took a spill in the driveway, not the day after the snow, the day before the snow, and he broke his shoulder. So yesterday he had the ball replaced in his shoulder. It was in 3 pieces. Put it mildly, it was a mess, and he's doing great, so that's the good news. And then we had water pipe break, so the garage is a mess. Getting that cleaned up, hopefully. It's not interfering much, just can't put the car in the garage. But anyway, that's been the latest news around. How many water pipes broke in the city? More than there were people to handle. Yeah, I know. Well, we need more insulation, right?
So where's the happy?
Dale.
It's not Dale, it's Danny. It is. Happy dollar for Paul's excellent service helping my mom get all sorted out. She decided on her own the other day after I worked with the elder care law. She decided to make some changes, and she's planning to move into Abbotswood, and it was just like overnight she decided she was going to do something. And we pulled the trigger on a place yesterday, and she's so excited. I just wanted to say thank you, Paul and Cheryl Davis.
Did it get you back in the whip?
Steve.
Well, I'm sure several of you saw updates on Facebook last week, but the robotics team went down to Myrtle Beach. Did very well, actually a little bit better than we thought we would during the actual qualification rounds. We ended up coming in 9th through a series of events, ended up moving up to 8th to be able to be in the elimination rounds. Ended up coming in 6th overall for the weekend out of 66, which we were really proud of. The biggest achievement is we also won 2 pretty big awards. One was the Entrepreneurship Award, which just talks about how well the team does in reaching out to sponsors and communicating with sponsors, letting them know how we do, but also how efficiently we use our money. And then the second, which is the biggest award, is the Engineering Inspiration Award, which gives us a ticket to the World Championships in St. Louis again this year. So we're excited to be going back. Thank you for everybody that has supported, and I'll be sending you.
You'll be coming around.
Good job.
Mr. Allen. This Happy Dollar is at the request of my daughter Grace, who is a freshman at UNC. She's 19. During her first month of life, she was hospitalized 3 times. The last one, I guess between the second and third, Beth and I got to follow her from Cone to the Children's Hospital at UNC because they have a pediatric intensive care unit. She was suffering from a very bad case of respiratory syncytial virus, and they have a ventilator over there, so we had to take her over there. She's now happy as a freshman to be able to say thanks because there's a dance marathon at UNC every year to raise funds for the UNC Children's Hospital. So at her request, I apologize in advance for messing up your emails, but I'm going to send an email with a link to where you can learn information about supporting her as she tries to dance apparently for 24 hours straight in the next month. Wow. So.
It'd be worth it as long as it's not you dancing.
Having recently attended a wedding where my children were there, trust me, you're right.
Judge Castle.
Had the great privilege this week to preside over my 50th county as a judge in North Carolina down in Edgecombe County, but that's not what Happy Dollar's for. Some of you may remember from time to time, as I'm fortunate to have interns through the summer, sometimes undergraduate, sometimes in law school. In addition to their courthouse exposure, I try to bring them to the civic things I'm involved in. And one of my early interns when I was still a district court judge, Chad Hinton, was the charter class Student Bar Association president at Elon Law School. And I took him on as an intern and took him to, the downtown Greenway things, the State Bar advisory things in Cary. And I brought him here a couple of times to Gate City Rotary, and I got to have lunch with him down there yesterday in Tarboro. And I mentioned, well, I've got my Rotary meeting bar. He says, yeah, I remember that, and I'm so glad that you were able to expose me to these things. I've been here back in Tarboro now 6 years since law school, and I've gotten involved in Rotary, and not only have I now been club president, but I'm now the district grants coordinator for that. So y'all made an impression on him as did Rotary. So that was a bright spot in a cold, rainy week otherwise. So,
Alright, so two happy dollars. The first happy dollar was me being in Singapore for the last 2 weeks when it was the coldest, February on record here in North Carolina. So I'm not going to complain about having been there and missing all of the snow and the ice and all of that mess. And then the other is just to thank everyone for all their emails regarding my mother. So.
Well, Grandpappy, he was a strong believer in that everything happens for a reason. He said, now sometimes that reason is that you're stupid and you make poor decisions. Everything happens.
All right, so it's a great day in Rotary because we're going to induct 2 new members to our club. So I'll call up Kelly and Robbie assisting you as well, and 2 new members. It's very exciting.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good morning once again, folks. The Gate City Rotary Club was chartered in May of 1991, and with an idea of embodying and carrying out the Rotary goals, embodying the 4-way test, perennially bringing in new members. It was a great time to be a member as a charter part of that club, to see the efforts of other Rotarians bringing us all along as new members to this wonderful organization that's been around since 1905. We have that great privilege to do that this morning, and it is my pleasure to welcome them, and I would ask their sponsor to say a few words about them.
I'm going to actually let both of them tell a little bit about themselves, seeing how Dennis Marcotte is not here to represent Chris. Chris, if you would, if you'll just tell us a little bit, and I'll let Chuck follow you.
Yeah, just quick high level. I moved to Greensboro in April of last year. Moved up here with Scott Insurance. I was previously with U.S. Trust in Charlotte, but when my wife got pregnant, we decided to downsize from Charlotte, which was a fun community, but not where we wanted to raise our children. And she's from Madison, just north of town, so it was a good opportunity to get back close to her family. But now we have a healthy 6-month-old boy who is on the verge of crawling, which is a ton of fun. But my wife is a stay-at-home mom, and since he's gotten more active, I now appreciate everything that she does. So, thank y'all for having me.
Go ahead.
My name is Chuck Alexander, and going through the application process was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed having lunch with Dennis and Emily. And during that process, after that process, I went to the point where it was the 7-day letter time, and I then emailed Kelly and I said, well, Kelly, what is this 7-day letter? And he then emailed me back and he said, well, because I was a little bit concerned about the 7-day letter, and he said, Chuck, the 7-day letter is the point where we try to keep out the criminals and the Duke fans.
Isn't that redundant?
So I'm, as I said, my name is Chuck Alexander, and I am a University of North Carolina graduate. I've been in Greensboro for 11 years. I'm originally from Charlotte. I've been married to my lovely wife for 20 years. I have a son, Charlie, who's at Page High School, and his main interest is lacrosse, and I have a daughter, Avery, who's at Mendenhall Middle School. She's just turned 13, and she's an aspiring actress, and she is going to be in Aladdin, which opens up this Friday at the Community Theater, the Star Theater down on Elm Street. And I am the Director of Business Development for Holden Building Company here in Greensboro. And I'm looking really forward to being a part of this group and using my spiritual gifts to help this group and the community. And thank you for having me.
Well, on behalf of the Board of Directors and our members, we sincerely welcome you here. And our welcome is not only in anticipation of good fellowship we'll share with you here on Thursday mornings and during social outings. We welcome you for your strong arms and sturdy back, which will help us carry out our many service projects, which in a small yet significant way make our community, our country, and our world a better place for all to live. For all here, Rotarian and non-Rotarian alike, let's be reminded of these important facts. First, Rotary is not a political organization, but all Rotarians are vitally concerned with everything pertaining to good citizenship and the election of good men and women to public office. Second, Rotary is not a charitable organization, yet its activities exemplify the charity and the sacrifices that one should expect from people who believe that they have a responsibility to help others. And third, Rotary is not a religious organization, but it is built on those eternal principles that have served as the moral compass for great people throughout the ages, as well as the foundation of this great country. Rotary is an organization of business and professional people, pledged to upholding the highest professional standards. Rotarians believe that worldwide fellowship and international peace can be achieved when business people unite under the banner of service. At this time, I would like to request that everyone stand for the delivery of the following charge. Both of you as new members have been chosen for membership of the Rotary Club of Gate City. Your sponsor and fellow members believe you to be a leader in your special line of work, and that you embody the qualities of head and heart that fit you to interpret and impart the message of Rotary. You are the representative of your vocation here for the club, and at the same time, you now become an ambassador of Rotary. We rely on you to carry out the principles and ideals of service to those with whom you work. Additionally, we expect you to inspire us, your fellow members, to become better Rotarians. I now ask the sponsoring member to present you with this distinguishing lapel pin as a Rotarian, and it is our hope you will wear it proudly for others to see. Also included will be your official certificates of membership and a dedication of the four-way test to help you to be reminded of what it means to be a Rotarian.
Congratulations.
You're welcome, Chris. Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Welcome to Rotary. Thank you. Let's give them all a hand. One more thing, Chris and Chuck, we welcome you at this time and apply the red badge accordingly. Thank you very much, Chris. Thanks. Chuck,
And hey, Chip. Chuck likes to roast me, so I think we have a ring on next year. Big stock.
Well, in 2 or 3 years, you ought to have him well-trained as a section temperature monitor.
Let's see, and Jeff Tillman, come on up.
Hey, Jeff.
Jeff. So Jeff gets to move from the red badge to the white badge because he's fulfilled all of his obligations as a new member. And I'm not sure if it was record time, but it was a very speedy time. So congratulations.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you very much. All right. And certainly last but not least, our speaker for this morning, which Ralph is going to introduce. And for our new members, just to let you know, we give you a distinguished lapel pin, and I encourage people to wear it each week, because if you don't, you might get to wear the
That's right.
sling.
And even though if it gets awarded to you, you will have to wear it again if you forget your pin again. I thought once it happened once, I was off the hook. Many of you remember Terry from last year, and if you don't, he puts on a great presentation about the Wyndham and what it offers our community. Tell you a little bit about Terry. He gave me the short and sweet version, but we're going to be here for a little while. He's a Greensboro native. He went to Grimsley High School. He didn't mention that, but I'm going to add that in his repertoire. Wake Forest University, 91 grad. A wife. He has a wife of 21 years named Jill. He's got 2 girls, Copeland and Ellie, 15, 11. He spent 10 years in the textile industry with Cone Mills, 10 years in the mortgage banking, 2 years with Greensboro Partnership and Development, 4 years with the Wyndham Championship as Director of Development. Can I get some water? Take a little while. Also, he's a member of West Market United Methodist Church. He's the chairman of the Church Council and Administrative Board. He's also involved with First Tee of Triad Swimming Foundation Vice Chair Board, youth sports coach, and he had to write something else on his short and sweet version here. Backpack Beginnings Board. Member, chair,
Just member, thank
just member. But please welcome Terry J. He's a good friend. He's going to put on a great presentation.
Ralph and I have known each other for many years, and
Ralph's leading the room.
I would have to say that several of years I've considered him a good friend. Ralph, I appreciate it. I was thrilled when Ralph called me last night to come and speak to you guys today. I think there's a theme around the room. You guys may not know this, but Ralph's in the insurance business. I'm sure he's probably called every single one of you. But so I was trying to use some leverage to maybe get a discount because he's quoting me right now, especially since, let's see, about this time tomorrow I'll be at the DMV with my 16-year-old daughter trying to get her license. Can I have all those happy dollars? I'll need those, thank you. Terry Jones, as Ralph said, thrilled to be here, thrilled to be back. I brought a couple folks today I wanted to introduce you to who have come on board with the Wyndham Championship staff. And guys, if you'd stand up and just turn around and say, hey, Dan Woods. Dan's from Rochester, New York. Then has been on board here. Has it been 6 months?
Yeah, November, sorry, 4.
4. It feels a lot longer. Mike Manisotis. Mike is from South Carolina and recently graduated from Carolina, as I like to say, University of South Carolina. Thrilled to have these guys both. They made their way up here through Ponte Vedra, through the PGA Tour. They went through a program at the PGA Tour where they basically threw them into an underground room for about 9 months and taught them how to cold call and sell over the phone. So I would imagine, raise your hand if you've hung up on Dan or Mike in the last 4 months. I know, where's Buster? I know we met with him, where's Buster?
Great, y'all ought to get him in there. They're fun to talk to.
No, we're thrilled to have them. They're doing a great job. It's fun to listen to them. If you ever get to listen to somebody basically just making cold calls throughout most of the day, it is not an easy gig, and these guys do a great job. It's fun to hear some of their shticks, if you will. Mike, I know, has enjoyed his first North Carolina winter. Today's a great example. You know, he was ready to put on his shorts yesterday, and now he's probably going to be afraid to drive after lunch. Dan, I have to tell you real quick a great story about Dan. I didn't tell him I was going to share this, but this is a great story. So this was probably several weeks after, or early in Dan's illustrious career at the Wyndham Championship. So he finds this guy to meet with him. And he asked me if I'd like to go along on the sales call, and I said, absolutely, Dan, it sounds great. So he came and meet with this gentleman, and So we walk in this guy's office, and he's got more golf gear than, I mean, our whole office is combined. I mean, it looks like a shrine of golf, and it's, so, you know, that's a good sign, right? This guy's interested in golf, step one. And so we sit down, and turns out the gentleman and I had a couple of mutual buddies, and, you know, we kind of hit it off, and we're talking, and, I mean, it was like watching a sales training video. I mean, everything I said, the guy just ate up, and it was just back and forth was great. And so, I mean, from literally a cold call, this guy winds up buying a Pro-Am team and some skybox hospitality. Doesn't happen a lot like that. So we finished up, had a great meeting, come outside, and Dan was great, and we hadn't hardly gotten to the parking lot, and Dan goes, "Man, that was awesome." I looked at him, I put my hand on his shoulder, I said, "Dan, I gotta tell you this. Every single one of my sales calls is exactly like that." Unfortunately, I've been on a couple more calls with him since then. But real quickly, I just want to go over 2014 and let you know some things about how it went last year. Hopefully you were able to come out to Sedgefield and enjoy the tournament. For the first time in quite some time, we actually had 4 consecutive days of sunshine. That's kind of a big deal for us, and as much as we like to take credit for some of our success, the weather has an awful lot to do with it. So based on that, and hopefully a few other things, we had really our best revenue year from a standpoint of ticket sales, hospitality sales, merchandise, concessions, parking. So it was far and away a tremendous success. It was great to be able to do that along with celebrate our 75th anniversary. So it was an absolute thrill. I wanted to share with you a couple of really short videos that if you were out there last year, you maybe hopefully noticed that the Golf Channel had a presence out there last year. They had a tremendous tent right beside or adjacent to the putting green, and because of that, and that's not free, by the way, Wyndham ponied up quite a bit of money to have in there. They produced a number of pieces, so I want to share a couple with you. The first one I'm going to show you is an interview they did with my boss, Bobby Long, and the second one is just kind of an overview of some of the things that go on during the week of the tournament. Okay, and there we go. Well, volume is an issue, apparently. Yeah, that's right there. Okay, so there we go. Enjoy the video in the background. Well, we'll see if we can get that.
It looked great.
They did look great.
Production values.
I should blame it on Dan since he forgot the other projector, but one of the neat things about last year, if you remember and read the papers, we got closer to the tournament, was we had a pretty good opportunity at securing one of the more well-known golfers around. Tiger Woods last year was, depending on which day we talked about it, was either coming to play in the field or was not going to come and play in the field. And really up until, now these guys don't have to commit to your tournament until the Friday before the next week. So they have till 6 o'clock or 30 minutes after their last putt drops on that previous week's tournament. So the night before, the Thursday of the PGA Championship, when Tiger was playing poorly, we got a call and said, okay, you know, fired up, he's coming. And so literally we had a completely different set of plans and strategies to deal with Tiger Woods showing up at Sedgefield Country Club. We had parking stuff, we were going to fire off new tickets. We had to actually tent out more of our media center. We had to secure additional security folks around. I mean, it was just like this entire plan just to deal with Tiger's presence. So, you know, we got a little bit fortunate in that we got the bump from Tiger coming, but we didn't have to deal with him actually being here. But I've never seen I've never seen somebody move the needle like that. How many more people did you expect because he comes? You know, we thought we would probably 50% additional. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. And, you know, Randy, it was interesting. I was getting, you know, I have a lot of friends that time of year. Sorry. Ralph's the king of the text that says, "Hey, I know you're busy, but." The number of texts I got from folks that just ask, is he coming? Not, hey, I heard Ernie Els is coming, or hey, I heard Sergio's coming. It's, is he coming? Everybody knows who you're talking about. I mean, it was just truly amazing how much that guy moves the needle. And he really, if you think about it, he's really the guy, the only guy that moves the needle like that. I mean, it's not Phil, it's not Rory. Now, yeah, that would help, but it's not Tiger Woods. And you know, who knows this year? He probably may need us a lot more than we need him this year, if he's even playing at that time. So it's an interesting dynamic with that guy. I was looking through some things yesterday, and to give you a sense of what goes on during the week of the tournament, I went through and counted off, and this doesn't include actual play, it doesn't include ongoing hospitality and events within the week of the tournament, but just separate one-off kind of events that we have during the week. It's 17 different things, that official events that go from a women's day that we have on Tuesday, a breakfast that we have on Thursday, several golf clinics that we do. We have we did one last year for the Tesori Foundation, which is a foundation through Webb Simpson's caddy. He had a young son born with some health issues, and so we had a great clinic out there at Grandover, supported some kids with some special needs. So it's a lot more than just the 4 days of competition, and it's a whirlwind week, but it's great to be involved in so many neat things. We're working on our technical stuff here. Our champion last year, Camilo Villegas, who very well may be the most fit guy on the PGA Tour in comparison to Patrick Reed, our previous champion. Camilo rides about probably 350 to 400 miles a week on his bike, and this guy's the most incredibly fit guy I've ever seen. He's also one of the most sincere, nicest guys as a player that I've ever met. Typically, after the champion is crowned, they will come and meet with tournament staff and a few of our selected volunteers, just as kind of a way to say thank you. And it's typically a quick handshake and a thank you, and then they're off and on their way, which is great. I mean, it's nice of them to take the time to do that. But Camilo took the time to go around the room, shake everybody's hand, and make a point to say how much he appreciated all that we did, and that he knows this is what we do for the whole year to prepare for 1 week. He says, I'm going to leave here, and I'm going to get in my car that you gave me, my brand new Cadillac that I had for the week, and I'm going to get on a plane, a charter plane, and I'm going to fly to the next event. And you guys are left to clean up the mess. So I just want to say how much we appreciate all that you do to make this week very special for all of us. And so that was a really nice touch. He didn't have, it's just an extra step that he didn't have to do. Wish some of those other guys would recognize that kind of, that it doesn't take that much. A couple things about this year coming up, 2015, our 76th Wyndham Championship. I was going through some of our sales data yesterday, and I found a sheet that was in May 28th of 2008, which in our sales cycle is pretty much the 11th hour of when we can do things. And the update was to our board, and it talked about what was left to sell. So I was just going through the list. 18th green skyboxes, we had 3 left, 3 out of 5. 17th, we had 1 out of 4. 17th luxury suites, 3.5 out of 5. 16th skyboxes, 3 left. 20% of the Monday Pro-Am still to sell. Wednesday Pro-Am, we had 10% of that to sell. Then I went back and looked at where we are today, and with there'll be some minor changes here and there, but we're sold out of both 18th green skyboxes and luxury suites. Now remember, this is March, basically March 1st compared to Memorial Day. 17th green luxury suites and skyboxes sold out. 16th and 15th green skyboxes sold out. Monday and Wednesday pro-ams are already sold out. So it's just to give you an idea of how far this thing has come in the last 7 or 8 years. I'm in charge of sales too. I don't know. I don't know if that was part of it, but so a big thanks to the community and all the hard work. Last year we had almost 2,000 volunteers, and it takes more than a village to put this thing on. It takes Greensboro, Winston, High Point, Alamance County, and we are very appreciative of all the efforts. And it starts with a guy we didn't hear but were able to see. My boss, Bobby Long, who's truly one of the most giving, inspirational guys I've ever been around. So we're very, very fortunate to have him. Real quickly, we are in the process of extending both Wyndham Worldwide and BB&T for hopefully a pretty significant period, significantly enough that I can maybe put the resume away for a couple years. We're really excited about that. There'll be an announcement hopefully in the next 30 days that you'll see, and it's significant. I'll just say that, and we're thrilled about it. You may or may not have seen in the last few weeks there's been an announcement on Ryder Cup qualification, and starting next year we will actually be within that. We'll be the last Ryder Cup tournament, excuse me, the next to last Ryder Cup tournament where you can actually get points. So that has not been the case in the past. That will do nothing but help our field tremendously. And whereas before there were only 2 captain's picks for the Ryder Cup, there are now going to be 4. And after it's go Wyndham Championship in Barclays, and then they have to pick 3 of their 4 captain's picks. So typically, if you're on the bubble, you need to play, and so you're going to be looking to come and play in Greensboro. So that's pretty exciting for us as well. These guys would yell at me if I didn't mention that we sold out of a lot of hospitality, but we still have a lot of hospitality out there to sell, including some new venues on 10, which is some individual hospitality that we're opening up this year. One of the things these guys run into, which I find interesting, is that a lot of response they get is that, well, the Wyndham Championship is big business, it's big corporate business, and we went back and looked at the numbers, and 60% of our sponsors are in for $5,000 or less. So it's a big number. So that's one of these things that these guys are trying to do is permeate that market of small to mid-sized business, so we can bump those dollars up and get more participation in from the small business side of things. So when Dan and Mike call, please take their call. You can hang up on them if they say something wrong, that's fine, but at least give them a shot. So I know we're short on time. I'll stop there. And are there any questions about this year, last year, players, anything like that?
Did you want to share the other?
Do we have time? All right, I'd love to show this video if we could. Anyway, basically he talks about what a great guy I am. Any questions?
Do you have some new players that have never played with that you might know about?
It's a little early, and that's that way. These guys have so much time to figure out their schedules, and they wait to commit as late as they can because they're all jockeying for position. They want to see how much money they've got, how many FedEx Cup supports they have. We will have some of the names that we always have, like Webb Simpson and Billy Haas and Brent Snedeker and Patrick Reed and those guys. It's too early to tell. We always have a few lines in the water early, but I can't get anything up right now. We're working on it. We're always working on it. Anybody else?
Dates the tournament this year?
17th to 24th of August, so it's actually like a week later this year than it has been in the past, which is really helpful for us in schools.
Terry, I'll just say, and I think I can speak for everybody in this room, how proud this city is of what this tournament has come back to. Over the years, my dad was chairman in 1948, and I remember those PGO days and the glory that it brought this city. And you know, a few years ago, we weren't terribly proud of the tournament, but just hats off to your team and what you've done to bring it back to what it is today, and it's exciting to see its growth. So,
Well, thanks, Kelly. I mean, your group is a big part of that. It starts at the top. We have a great leader. We have a great community, and it's a lot of fun to actually work on this thing. So I appreciate you saying that. Anybody else?
Very, very
I've done
much.
this
Yeah, you
before,
want to,
right?
yeah.
You already know it.
Last three numbers.
Yep.
608. 608.
This was not rigged, I promise.
Are you serious?
I'm not kidding, 608.
So this is not, you couldn't make this up any better. We did something like this on Tuesday night, and I won.
Well, you haven't actually really won
You got to give it back.
Well, no, you got to.
There's never won anything. This is great.
All right. If you can pull the Queen of Love.
Oh, the Queen of Hearts.
But you can't look at them.
Oh.
Yeah!